Hi, I thought I'd give you a tip on the topic of validating what's going on for flows. In general, Homey's strength is, of course, that you can always quickly do different types of stuff, checks and calculations, and so on and so on. Set up values and whatever. But the weakness is at the same time that it is so easy to change, and also it's very easy that you either have built a system that um, easily gets values that are not a value for some reason upon some error. Maybe you have set up so that when Homey restarts, you will miss some queue or something, and then a value becomes maybe a non-value or non-calculable value or something. Or you just fiddle around trying to change stuff and make some just mistake temporary, and one of the values becomes null instead of so when you have like something in here, you have, if I make a new variable of some type, and this is not this value is not set, then it will become null. So, or it will become nothing, and then if you have some kind of a check, like over here, if some value is lower or smaller than some other value, and one of the values is actually not a value, it's just blank, or it's a text or whatever. For instance, if you take one of these ones, and then for instance just so if I test here, I will get a value 0. And if I, for instance, just drop one of the parentheses and run it, oops, sorry, and I run it, I will get this. And so when that happens, it's of course everything will fail, and then this might go on, and you have no idea about it. So this flow is just a part of my flow for power um, the power check, when you have this power tariffs for the electricity. Now I will get this summer, provided politicians doesn't stop it, but I don't think they can. And it's actually a good thing, even though it's implemented in a stupid way, because it's really easy and also very difficult at the same time for someone that owns a house. So anyway, that's not important here. The important stuff here is I run this flow, and it's actually what comes in here is every hour I check if the average power this hour is more than um, three stored ones, because I will get electricity bill based on the average of these three ones. So I will do a complete run through of this system when I finished designing it. But this is another topic. This is the verify your flows topic. A start tag comes in, and then I can test first with start tag test, and then this one runs okay. But there start tag test is more than, so test is not a a number, so it will fail, and then you will get this error. And if you don't know this, this error stuff is always something you can use if a flow card stops. And of course, here you could so okay, this is wrong. You could apply it, draw a line here to somewhere and do something, and from this one and do something, and this one and do something, and then you are kind of, you have to, you kind of like foresee all errors that can occur and have a solution for all errors that can occur, and then you have this error handling is as big as all of the other flows. So instead, this is a simple way to approach it, and so I take all of the values that are important in this flow here, and these are these four. These are the four values that I actually have and treat. And the start tag is actually checked before this flow is run, so this cannot run if it's not a number. But you could add that also here if you'd like. So then what I do is I just check, okay, is any of these not a number? And if I go to if I copy one of this and I just said this is A. Now this is not in use, so I can fiddle as much as I want with it. So now I set this to A, and if we run this again now, and I still run, and this is 0 for instance, I go down here, oops, error, one of this is an A, so I can't do this comparison. And then I create a tag of all these four uh, values. It's just a text tag. And then I go down here and I say, okay, which one of them is wrong? So uh, this one is a number, this one is a number, I can compare it, and this one is not a number, and this one is a number. So now I get error on this one, A. So now I can do two stuff. Either so in this case, I just want the process to restart and run, and I know what I want to set. So what I do here is when this is 0, I move all the way over here, and this is just I use the same flow cards here just to be well. So that's why all the clutter. But it's not important. So what happens here is since e power month high 3 was a, it can't be a, it must be something. So I set it to 0 again, uh, and then it will work. And if it not just now I set it to 0 is just because, well, it's what to do when it's broken. Fix it in the least. In the most usable way, so to speak. So, for instance, if power limit is broken, then I set this to 5 because that's my default starting point every month as of now. And then of course what you need to know is let me know that okay, we have an error, so please do something. I did something, says the system, and in this case I rerun. First of all, I showed this from before when I made the tag here, and this is the values before, and then I tell okay, so now I replace the erroneous A with a 0, and then I run this script once again for a fix, because actually in this case the value that should have been there, it's lost in history. I have no idea of knowing what it was. So the best case here is just set it to 0 and run again. And either I made some mistake in the flow here. Uh, Maybe I was, which actually I was. I forgot the parenthesis in here when fiddling last night. So it's been wrong the whole time. So and for this one I haven't made this validation yet. So anyway, so um, so then it starts and it runs this process once again with the real value. And of course, when I run it with the real value, it will succeed once again. It's all else is impossible. It can't come this way. But normally, um, when you have feedback loops like this, starting a flow from a flow, so then you need to watch out so you don't loop this start a flow with the same flow that's started with a count or something. So anyway, so this also now I have 10 seconds, but it's supposed to be uh, maybe 1 minute. So then the process is very slow, and what happens here, of course, is I will, since I used the I will get this. You see, it started with A, and also in this case, um, if a flow like this would restart once a minute, my Telegram will fill up, and sooner or later I will notice that it blinks all the time and do something about it. Then it will always be 1 or 0, this value. Um, and basically, and then what I do then is sanity check. Also, if it becomes less than 0, I set it to 0. And also I have this one where it so one of these will be grayed out, and if you have 50 flows, this is very quickly done. And also sometimes you might just think, so here's some variable, where do I use that? That's not used, and you delete it, and then you messed up somewhere else. Because the thing is with Homey, you quickly lose oversight of the whole thing. So one of these will be grayed out, and if you have 50 flows, this is very quickly done. And also sometimes you might just think, so here's some variable, where do I use that? That's not used, and you delete it, and then you messed up somewhere else. Because the thing is with Homey, you quickly lose oversight of the whole thing.